Nice game. Nice game? What do you mean by nice game? Now I gotta drop 47 on you. Hello there and welcome here again, sports fans. After a brief hiatus, we are back with The Last Dance Weekly with your host Joel Best. So sorry about the major delay, but much like Michael Jordan, I had finals. But without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Episodes 7 and 8. Very, very emotional episodes as we explore into the life of Michael Jordan and just how human he really is. We get a look into the window of his life during the time where everybody was talking about his possible gambling problem and then further blaming gambling for the reason why his father had died. Talk about vicious journalism. The media literally pushed Michael to his wits' end to the point where he decided to walk away from the very game he loved and performed so well in. I think it would even be fair to say that the media attacked him more than the Detroit Pistons. Michael Jordan just displaying a great will to win. You can clearly tell that that is his core motivator. I don't think a lot of people understand that Michael Jordan is so much more than a great basketball player. He is a way of life, a mindset, as we can even clearly see during his transition into baseball after retiring in '94. You could take basketball away from Michael Jordan, but you can't take away his drive and work ethic. We can clearly see that through the improvement that he was having on the baseball field. A lot of people who worked with Michael during that time said that he possibly could have had a foot in the major leagues had the MLB not had a strike at that time. One can only imagine what history would be like if Michael Jordan had made it to the major leagues. Could we be talking about a two-sport champion? Well, I guess the world will never know. Madman or mad genius? Talk about Michael's philosophy with his teammates and other people that he played with. You can see Michael even sacrificing his own personal relationships with people just to get the victory in the end. A lot of people think that his philosophy is controversial, just calling it simple bullying of other players, calling him a jerk and mean, in other words, ruthless as a teammate. But in his defense, Michael Jordan did push that team to not only be as great as they can be, but to be better than what they were. And at the end of the day, it is very hard to argue against 6 championship rings. I mean, if you're talking about the mentality of Michael Jordan, let's just talk about just how crazy he would get with the rivalries that he would make up. Speaking of fake rivalries, I would like to give an in memoriam to yet another victim of the Jordan effect. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to give an in memoriam to none other than Bullets legend, LeBradford Smith. I mean, can you just imagine? You're just a player, just trying your best, just having a great game against one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. And you dropped 37 points on that man. Just for that man to come back and score what you had in an entire game in one half, and then tack on 10 points to that the very next night. Just clearly a vicious murder to a man's soul. Rest in power, LeBradford Smith. And while we're talking about it, let's even talk about former teammate B.J. Armstrong with the Hornets getting a big victory over Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and then taunting Michael Jordan on top of that. Michael Jordan was completely right on this one. B.J. Armstrong should have known better. I mean, you've played with this guy side by side. You know the stories of how he makes up rivalries and things like that and makes up just little things to get him going, and you decide to taunt this man, even after a great game like that, just playing a wonderful game. If that's all it took for him to destroy LeBradford Smith, and you were a former teammate, now opponent, who hit a big game shot, you messed up. Poor decision making from B.J. Armstrong. Speaking of poor decision making, Scottie Pippen in that '94 Knicks playoff game Let's talk about it. Scottie Pippen will forever be one of my favorite NBA players of all time. Definitely number 2 on my favorite Bulls players of all time. But this was just a situation that could have been completely avoided. And Scottie says that even if he could go back, he wouldn't change a single thing. Now, Scottie did put up points. In my mind, he's one of the greatest swing men in NBA history ever. Top 5 defender of all time. But that's exactly it. I don't see how he could get offended with Coach Phil Jackson choosing Tony Kukoc to make the final clutch shot when that was clearly his specialty at the time. Scottie Pippen, sure, he was dominant as a player, but he wasn't exactly as clutch as his teammate Michael Jordan was. And that's one of the things that I think has always limited Scottie Pippen as a player, is just having that illuminating clutch shadow of Michael Jordan over him and just simply not being able to produce outside of that. This definitely is number 1 fumble of the week. Michael Jordan grinding it out during the filming of Space Jam, even working hard on 2 fronts, both on set and having them build a basketball court so that he could invite players to play against him in between shooting. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How many of those pickup games do you think Michael Jordan and his team won? It would sure be nice to find out. Episode 8 gets capped off with the Sonics versus the Bulls in the finals. All I can say is, what was the Sonics coach thinking, not having Gary Payton, literally the only point guard to win Defensive Player of the Year, not guard Michael Jordan, one of the most prolific scorers of all time? Gary Payton saying maybe if his coach would have played him on Jordan a little bit earlier, the series could have possibly went in their favor and they could have won the finals. Michael heard this comment and was completely humored by it. Michael Jordan laughing that comment off like a bad one-night stand story. And it is a truly emotional moment to see him win that game and the series on Father's Day without his father for the first time in the NBA Finals. Truly a career-defining game. Alright, sports fans, that's my time for today. Please make sure you like and subscribe on the video. Tonight is the series finale as we watch episodes 9 and 10 to cap off the journey of The Last Dance. It is truly going to be a riveting experience, and it will also be, sadly, the finale of The Last Dance Weekly. Comment below what you thought about episodes 7 and 8 this week, and let me know what you think about the video as well. Alright, sports fans, that's been my time. This is Joel Best signing off, saying play tight and ball is life. Alright, see you all next week.